Hello, everybody. We are going to go over the wonderful world of phrases. There will be a quiz Thursday or Friday. And again, you'll have a couple day window to take it. So I just wanted to make sure you're ready. You've been going through some of this. Some of this we've already done. You've seen online. I just want to make sure it's there for you and you have access to this. So again, what are phrases? Well, it's a group of words. Okay, so a phrase that can't just be one word. It has to be a group of words. It's missing a subject, predicate, might be missing both. Okay, it cannot stand alone as a sentence. All right, and the most common types of phrases are the three that we've been focusing on: prepositional phrases, verb phrases, and infinitive phrases. Okay, so again, prepositional phrases, surprisingly, it consists of a preposition. And every prepositional phrase has an object of a preposition, usually dun dun dun, a noun. Sometimes it'll be a pronoun, but almost always it's a noun. In grade school, maybe you learned mnemonic device. The squirrel ran blank the tree. The squirrel ran up the tree. The squirrel ran on the tree. The squirrel ran to the tree. Those all work. If the word is placed in there and it makes sense, then it's a preposition. Usually this works, but it's not foolproof. But it can be a helpful tool. Okay, you use your prepositions as we've gone over before. They're showing direction, time, place, location. You have a spatial relationship. Maybe they're introducing an object. Okay, so that's the prepositional phrase. Just a quick review. Verb phrase, again, it's more than just one word. So it's those verbs that have helping verbs. So it consists of this helping and or auxiliary verb and the main verb. A lot of times you'll look for that predicate of the sentence, and then you'll see if there's a verb phrase. Some of the common helping verbs is, are, was, were, did, does, have, had, has, had, can, could, should, would, will, might, and may. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes there are other parts of speech will interrupt this verb phrase, not or never or always. Adverbs like that a lot of times might come in the middle of the verb phrase. So be aware of that. Infinitive looks like a verb. It is not a verb, though. It begins with to, okay? And it functions as either a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. But if you're just looking for phrases and you see to plus a verb right after it, you know that's an infinitive, okay? So keep that in mind. And again, it never functions as the verb. It might feel like it's the verb, but it's not. Okay, so for example, the author was writing of Mice and Men to teach about life in the Great Depression. Right away, I can start breaking things down. The author, there's my subject. Subject of a sentence is not going to be part of a phrase. That one of the three phrases we're looking at. Was writing. So, wait a minute, I have my main verb writing. I have was helping. So I see here's my verb phrase. To, there's a verb following it, to teach. So I look right away and I can see just a couple that stand out to me. I see the to and the verb after it. Okay, that's an infinitive phrase, all right? And then I look and say, about life, preposition with a noun at the end of it. It's going to be a prepositional phrase, okay? In the Great Depression, so in, which is a popular preposition, and then Great Depression would be that noun. So I can start breaking things down that way. I mean, even of mice and men, if you think about that, that's a phrase too. Okay, so the name of the novella we're reading. All right, George and Lenny had to run from the town of Weed. So we have our subjects, George and Lenny had. Now it's just had. There's no verb phrase here. There's no main verb here. Had is just linking. To run. So we have our to plus a verb. So infinitive. From the town, from preposition, town object of preposition, a noun, of weed, of preposition, weed, object of preposition. So there I have a prepositional phrase. So if you can break things down like that, it can be very easy. The boss is very upset with George and Lenny. Boss is the subject, so not part of the phrases we're looking at. Is very upset, is upset. Very is that adverb telling me to what extent. And then you have with George and Lenny. So you have your preposition with your objects of preposition. And finally, George tells Lenny to hide. To hide, that would be infinitive. And then in the brush, preposition, object of preposition. All right. So again, when we're looking at it, to plus a verb, that's an infinitive. Has an object, which is usually a noun or a pronoun. That will be a preposition. Part of the predicate, verb. Sometimes another part of speech, like an adverb, will come between the phrase. That is a verb phrase. Can use the mnemonic device. The squirrel ran blank a tree. There's your prepositional phrase. this looks like a verb but is never the verb, that is your infinitive phrase, okay? So your test is going to look like this, okay? You're going to have an underlined phrase, and you're going to have to say what part, which phrase it would be, okay? So we are going to the parking lot. So I have to, it is not followed by a verb, so I can right away cross off infinitive, and I actually notice, oh, it ends with a noun, so there's my prepositional phrase. We're running. I can just look at these and go, oh, running, there's a main verb, there's the action, we're is helping it out, there's my verb phrase. To walk, so infinitive because there's to followed by a verb. Has been working, oh, main verb working, has been is helping verb. On the rooftop, I have a preposition on. Rooftop, there's my noun, the object of preposition, so prepositional phrase. Will talk, talk is a main verb, will is your auxiliary helping verb, so there's your verb phrase. To think, to plus your infinitive, think, that's your verb. At the game, so again with this one you have your preposition and then game is your noun, at the game. About his dad, about is your preposition, dad is your object of preposition, it's a noun. Is playing, so playing is that action, is the helping verb, there's a verb phrase. So if you take a moment to break things down, it can really be helpful. Those of you who are still taking that are going to take that quiz over chapter 4 and up my and remember the race method. Okay, restate, all right, answer, cite, explain. Restate an answer, that's going to be one sentence. You put that together, your citation, how you're proving your answer, and then your explanation. You're explaining, and that's going to be the longest part. It's going to be the longest part. You're explaining how that citation connects to your answer. So just a little review. We've been going over that quite a bit, so hopefully that gets it back to you. Some helpful hints with phrases. If the phrase underlined has to followed directly by a verb, then you can go right away, that's an infinitive phrase. If the phrase underlined is an action, so I see a verb there, I see an action, running, okay, walking, then it is a verb phrase. Okay, if I see that action and it's not preceded directly by to, keep that in mind. But if I see an action as like is running, was walking, okay. If the phrase underlined ends in either a noun or a pronoun, then it's a prepositional phrase. So I see that you have the phrase underlined that ends in a noun or a pronoun. I know, okay, that's going to be a prepositional phrase. So some helpful hints. Here are some, just again, the students will be taking a phrase test this week. Oh, taking, that's my main verb. Will be is helping it, so verb phrase. I was hoping to learn more about phrenology. Oh, learn, that's a verb, but it's preceded by to. So to learn, that's going to be infinitive. We will be staying home this Christmas. Okay, I see staying, that's an action. Will be, okay, so I see helping verbs, main verb. There's a verb phrase. The hot chocolate is in the cupboard. So in, and then cupboard is a noun. Oh, object preposition, prepositional phrase. My grandma's house is located over the river and through the woods. Over the river, oh, that ends with a noun. Over the river, prepositional phrase. It is time to take a moment and to relax. Maybe we all should, but to take, to, followed by take, which is the verb, infinitive. My brother was learning about the American Revolution. Oh, learning is verb, all right, it's that action, was, all right, is that helping verb, so there's verb phrase. Floyd was talking about the game during class. Okay, about connects with that noun game. All right, that is a prepositional phrase. We had to run a mile at practice today. All right, I look at it, run, it is a verb, but it's preceded directly by to. To run, that's an infinitive. In a minute, the Ashland Arrows basketball game will begin. So I have minute, which is a noun, in a minute, your prepositional phrase. So hopefully that is helpful to you. We are going to just remember to keep, if you have any questions, always ask. I'll get back to you as best that I can. But thank you guys for, paying attention. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Take care, everybody.